So I knew at the time that Game 4 versus Dallas was my favorite Thunder win of the year. After all, it was the first second round playoff win OKC has had since this Russ and 1 wrapped up Game 5 versus the Spurs 8 years ago. What I didn't know at the time was that it was also the last Thunder win of the year, with Dallas making a few more plays down the stretch to send OKC home in 6. Even with that context, I still loved so much of what I saw from OKC, both in the series and during the year as a whole. In this video, we'll be looking back at the fourth quarter from Game 4 where they made their comeback to see why it's so unsurprising and why the loss hasn't soured me on OKC's future at all. Pre-game, OKC coach Mark Daigneault said he wanted his team to, quote, remain in character and be who they've been all year. Nobody heeded this advice more than the rookies. Chet and Comin were both dynamic all game long, and both came up with huge play after huge play on both ends in the fourth. And while the poise to perform like this as rookies in a pressure cooker environment is great, to Mark's point, it doesn't happen by accident. The Thunder did everything they could to prepare their rookies for this exact moment. Chet was ready to take and make this huge shot because he was trusted to take those shots in the clutch all year long. And Comin was ready to guard Kyrie on an island with the game on the line here because he was already trusted to make that same kind of play earlier in this same playoff run. It wasn't just those two though. Lou Dort shook off a bad shooting night to hit some huge threes and played some excellent defense down the stretch. J-Dub didn't have his best game either, but stayed engaged on both ends and made some massive plays to help the Thunder extend the lead. And while J. Will didn't have the best series, his 3 offensive rebounds in the fourth were massive and got the Thunder 5 points in a game that they ended up winning by 4. Which leaves Shai. I've been blessed to see a lot of scoring talent as an OKC fan, but I think Shai might just be the best shot maker in the team's history so far. He makes it look so easy even against elite defense. The change of pace, balance, and footwork are all world class, and the degree of difficulty on most of these shots in the game and the series was off the charts. Like come on, man. But even with all the offense, his floor game was what was more impressive to me. He did some work on the boards and was super active defensively, especially down the stretch. Mavs try him twice here and get nothing. And look at the trust as a playmaker as well. Lou misses this open corner 3, but later on in the quarter, he's open again, and Shai gives it up with no hesitation. Cash. I had worries as a Thunder fan going into the playoffs, but Shai was not one of them. I thought his game was built to succeed in the playoffs, and he justified that confidence with an elite run. So I've seen some people calling out the OKC front office for not making moves to improve this year's team. And while I disagree, I do get it. With real contention comes real expectations. And with those expectations comes criticism for not reaching the goal. And for a franchise that is still haunted by this picture and everything that comes after it, these criticisms are valid. But to be honest, I'm happy with the Thunder throwing this team into the deep end as is. It's important to strike while the iron's hot and make the most out of the opportunities in front of you, but it's also important to remember your process and not skip steps. History's shown us that teams usually have to lose before they're ready to win. Why would this Thunder group be any different? Like Thunder fans, if I told you before the year that Shai would have a top 2 MVP finish on a number 1 seed and back up all of that hype in the playoffs, J-Dub would have a good enough regular season that these playoff numbers would be seen as a disappointment, and that Cason Wallace, one of the most NBA-ready rookie guards I've ever seen, would be the clear second best rookie on his own team because Chet was a top 50 player, you would have taken that season, right? In short, I had a great time this season. The foundation that the Thunder built over the last few years was tested a lot in 2024, and I thought it held up well. There's still work to do and probably some moves that need to be made to make sure they still reach the ultimate goal, but I think the way that this group embraces those types of challenges bodes really well for their future. Also, I got to watch my first ever playoff game in OKC live and, listen to my girl yell at my favorite team about not rebounding well enough. So, yeah, I definitely got what I wanted out of this year. That's about all I have for y'all. I'm still really encouraged by the Thunder, looking forward at their future, and I'll let the MVP runner-up send us off here.
We just stuck to it. We just plugged away, took it possession by possession, and eventually the game turned for us. We've been in a situation a lot. We've been down double digits. I think we lead the league in double-digit comebacks. We've been there before, and we just knew what it took, and we got it done tonight. We all have a job, and we all have a role on this team, and we know what that is, and we do it at a high level, and that's why we've been good all year. I'm just getting back to that, playing together and competing all game. Didn't look perfect tonight, but we got it done.